You're not half bad. You killed my father. Like father, like son.
Welcome to the motherfucker. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. Another installment of what has fast become the most popular segment here on the channel, Ring IQ Hate Mail! In my recent video, we talked about the recent blowback of Terrence Crawford attending this past weekend's UFC Freedom Card hosted by Donnie J himself. And of course, there being a political component to this, Terrence Crawford has now become polarized. To that, a guy who goes by the name James Leet said, "You can't greet the pedophile-in-chief without being considered a kitty fiddler yourself." Wait, you're saying Terrence Crawford is chomo? Trump is a pedo scumbag. Anybody supporting him is a pedo-loving scumbag. What's this about? All of them need to die! This is about the Epstein list, and how the current administration is in possession of said list, but have not yet provided full disclosure. James continued, "The reason you can call Trump a chomo as much as you want is because he can't sue you without disclosure, which would prove beyond all doubt that he is a chomo." I think the reason you can do that is because you live in a free country that has freedom of speech, and I sincerely doubt that Donnie J is reviewing the comment section of my videos to see what people are saying. That's the real reason you can do that. James continued, "Jules, do you support all chomos or just the one who had the FBI hide the evidence?" No, I don't support any chomos, and because you decide to throw a baseless accusation around in the comment section of my videos doesn't make it true. If it were proven true, then I would be on the same side of the fence as you, but near as I can tell, you're just running with wild conspiracy theories that you read online like most loony leftists. Because most of you people are mentally ill. Let's get to the crux of James's argument. If you're going to throw around these wild accusations about this administration based on the Epstein list and whatever they did or didn't disclose, you could say the exact same things about the previous one. So they saw the same list that this administration saw. You weren't standing on a pulpit then when they had full access to said list and could have provided full disclosure. You only wait to do this now because it services your political agenda. Because it's convenient. Because your people lost. Because you're a fucking loser. Like I said in the video, anything that you can say about this current administration based on that list and what they did or didn't disclose, you could say about the previous one. And you weren't standing on a pulpit then. You weren't throwing wild accusations out then. You think it all of a sudden becomes true now? What you're saying, that this administration and all of its constituents are all chomos, and you're the one who's on the right side of history. You're the lone hero in all of this. You're the enlightened one. What is indicative of a common practice with the people on the left, character assassination, making wild accusations with no basis in reality, in the absence of evidence. They make an accusation repeatedly, hoping that it'll be true, as if it being true is subject to how many times you make it, when it's not. You didn't prove anything the first time you said it, the second time, the third, or the fourth, because if you had, then I'd be on that side of the argument with you. But I've been on the internet long enough to know how this works. As a content creator, making opinions public that at times might ruffle people's feathers, said people try to assassinate your character, call you out of your name, make you out to be something that you're not. Because what are you saying? That everybody on the right is a chomo? Do you know how insane that sounds? Do you know how fucking insane you are? The things you people convince yourselves of so you can model yourselves as the heroes in the story. What is little more than your own narcissism. Your God complex. I didn't even want to make things political. I tried to focus on the boxing aspect of it, but James wouldn't have it any other way. So here it is. This character assassination, like what we're seeing now from James, is commonplace among the people on the left. How much they like to call people fascists and Nazis when they behave more like fascists than anybody. They want to control what you can and can't say. They have a deep disdain for anybody who might be a billionaire. Why? Or a millionaire. They're vehemently against capitalism but insist on living in a capitalist country and won't leave. If you leave it up to them, they won't just control what you can and can't say, they will also control what you can and can't earn. turn? Or haven't you noticed this uptick of communist rhetoric among the people on the left? Who like to run around calling everybody fascists when they're the ones who behave like fascists, who like to run around calling people Nazis. But they're the anti-Semitic ones. All the anti-Semitism you're seeing online brought to you by the algorithm is from people on the left. They don't give a damn about what happened on October 7th. So don't let the virtue signaling fool you that this is all about the loss of life. Doing what is right. Being on the right side of history. Near as I can tell, and I've said this on many live streams, there aren't necessarily good guys and bad guys in this story because the good guys and the bad guys all change depending on who you ask. My purview, there are no good guys or bad guys in the story because if the shoe was on the other foot and the roles were reversed, one group would just as easily massacre the other, if given the chance, and in many ways, they already have. So I don't presume to be the moral authority on these matters like James. Because I don't have a God complex. I don't see good guys and bad guys, only winners and losers. So is it a coincidence that James and his constituents only ever seem to identify with fucking losers? Like I said. Can't vilify one group of people or one entire nation without also factoring in all the others. They all have blood on their hands. There ain't no good guys, just winners and losers. But as far as the baseless accusations you're making, when I asked you to produce evidence, you didn't. When I asked you why the previous administration who had access to that same list didn't provide full disclosure, you didn't answer that either. Because you can't. Because you're fucking brainwashed. I'm not even telling you that this administration or that administration is guilty. I'm saying there is too much that remains unknown to take a hardline stance, and anything you can say about one, you can also say about the other. But you are so easily triggered and excitable that you turned a conversation about Crawford attending UFC Freedom into a conversation about your political perspectives. Because you're an egomaniac, like the rest of those loonies on the left. You think this is about you and what you believe. So I'll tell you what, James, start a YouTube channel, get on there, tell everybody what you believe, why you believe it, and post the evidence of what it is you're saying, the way I do with boxing talk. You could do that with politics. So if for any reason you can't or don't want to, then what you should then question is why you believe what you believe. If I cite a quote from a Jose Benavidez or a David Benavidez, I post the corresponding quote, the article, I post the audio, the video, so you should be able to do that for the things that you believe. Since you believe it so fucking much, you over here cursing me out, calling me names. That's how much you believe it. Though if you're so hard-pressed to find the corresponding evidence, you should be asking yourself, why do you believe it? Where did you get that belief from? Or are you just so fucking self-satisfied, so self-centered, you think we're all just supposed to take your word for it? And who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you that I should listen? Huh? Who the fuck are you, James, that I should pay attention to your 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 comments, none of which provide any evidence of what you're saying? As much as you've had to say, you would have thought you would have provided me with some sort of basis, some sort of something. This is how the loony leftists argue. There's no civil discourse with these people. You can't meet them in the middle for an exchange of ideas. They just resort to ad hominem attacks, baseless accusations, and when they can, violence. Because they're mentally ill. To be a leftist, you kinda have to be. So do us both a favor, James, and stay the fuck away from this channel. Elsewhere in the world of boxing, Floyd Mayweather is facing felony charges for passing a bad check. Boxer Floyd Mayweather is facing 2 felony charges alleging theft and intent to defraud by passing a bad check to purchase a $200,000 watch in Las Vegas, according to Nevada court records. Mayweather was not present for a Clark County court hearing Monday and was instead represented by his counsel. Mayweather's official charges are theft, value of $100,000 or greater, and draw or pass check with intent to defraud, valued at $1,200 or greater. I don't understand this guy. I don't understand him. As deep in debt as he is, as deep in with the sharks as he is, this guy's still running around trying to buy watches? Expensive watches? You ain't got enough watches? What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Clark County prosecutors filed an initial criminal complaint on April 27th, according to court records obtained by ESPN, following 3 days later by a court order that Mayweather appear before a judge. Monday's appearance by his attorney apparently fulfilled that order. The complaint alleges Mayweather wrote a $200,000 check from a Wells Fargo bank account to Gold and Beyond, a high-end Las Vegas resale boutique on December 31st of 2024. The complaint alleges Mayweather wrote the check when he had insufficient money, property, or credit in the account to pay it in full.
How could one man have such bad spending habits?
The theft charge claims Mayweather wrote the check in exchange for obtaining property or services, while knowing that the check would not be paid when presented. The complaint alleges Mayweather did this knowingly, feloniously, and without lawful authority. If found guilty on the fraud charge, Mayweather could face 1 to 4 years in prison and up to a $5,000 fine plus restitution costs. According to Nevada state law, felony theft carries prison terms of 1 to 20 years and up to $15,000 in fines. Neither Mayweather's attorney nor the Clark County District Attorney's Office were immediately available for comment. It is the latest in a litany of legal woes for Mayweather.
The man is close to 50 years old. What could he possibly want with more jewelry?
I have a theory on what Floyd Mayweather has been doing with the jewelry that he's purchased over the years and the purchases that he's making now. Perhaps he's been using them as a flip. He buys it for $200,000, then maybe he sells it to somebody else for $3,000.
Gets his money back, makes a $100,000 profit, something like that, because I can't rationalize why he'd dig himself deeper in debt for jewelry that he doesn't need.
Plaintiffs in separate civil cases in at least 4 states allege Mayweather owes them money. The Internal Revenue Service has a tax lien of more than $7.2 million levied against Mayweather for unpaid taxes in 2018 and 2023. A Las Vegas area gated community filed a separate lien over $22,000.
Fuck me.
Mayweather is also the plaintiff in separate suits he brought earlier this year against Showtime for $340 million and his former business associates for $175 million. He alleged fraud and aiding and abetting breach of fiduciary duty in both civil cases. Mayweather is scheduled to fight kickboxer Mike Zambidis in an exhibition on June 27th in Athens, Greece.
And good luck selling that fucking fight, because they're billing it as a pay-per-view the same day that Boots is supposed to be fighting Xander Zayas. If any boxing fans are gonna kick out money to see a boxing match that day, won't be for some cockamamie exhibition match involving Floyd.
A source close to Mayweather told ESPN on Tuesday that Mayweather still has his passport and is expected to leave for Greece later this week. There was a threat of Mayweather's passport being revoked at one point due to the IRS lien.
Imagine if he boards that plane to Greece and never comes back to the States. Never comes back to America because he's in too deep with the sharks.
But Mayweather's tax attorneys have been working with the federal agency and he will be able to go to Greece for the fight and then return.
I mean, it seems more and more that what Mayweather needs to do is just hurry up and file Chapter 11.
I don't think he has much of a choice. You have to wonder if he's still going to have that fight with Manny Pacquiao in September because he desperately needs the money he stands to make from that. And according to Jas Mathur, the CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, he's already borrowed money against his fight purse.
I mean, if that's true, doesn't that mean he has to fight in September?
I don't imagine he's getting much of a guarantee to fight Mike Zambidis. Maybe a few million, if that, but not enough to keep up with all the people that he owes. And with Manny,
purse for that fight might also be a drop in the bucket that gets swallowed up by Mayweather's mounting debts.
This is a felony case that he's now facing. And if he can't cough up the dough, he could do some time. Not a lot, but something.
He's 49 going on 50 years old.
2 things can be true at the same time. Where Floyd Mayweather alleges that the bulk of his millions was stolen from him by his peers, a good chunk of those millions he might have also burnt through himself, and seeing what poor spending habits he has.
An idiot and his money are easily parted.
Seeing this, those who would serve as counselors for Floyd Mayweather might have taken it upon themselves to take some of those millions for themselves.
It's not hard for me to believe that Jonah Rechnitz might have siphoned millions out of Floyd Mayweather's nest egg because he's already been associated with other fraud cases long before this one came up.
Fraud cases that he's pled guilty to already, so that he could have defrauded Floyd Mayweather is entirely possible, but Floyd's too stupid.
It's too late. Whatever he took is in the wind, and you're not going to get it back. I think the same applies to Al Heyman and whatever money he stole.
Because I absolutely think he defrauded Floyd Mayweather. He migrated from the music industry to the boxing industry after attempting to defraud Beyonce.
These were already sketchy characters long before Floyd Mayweather accused them of being such.
So given their dubious history and Floyd's poor money management, it creates the perfect storm for all of his millions to completely completely disappear, evaporate.
He's not what they said he was. He's not this financial guru. He's not boxing's Warren Buffett.
He's just another dumb boxer perpetuating a stereotype, frittering away his millions on bullshit to appear rich.
For years, people questioned Floyd Mayweather's spending habits and how sustainable all of it was, to the point where his supporters would call you out of your name and accuse you of hating, going as far as saying you're a bigot if you think that Floyd could eventually go broke. Now here we are all of these years later, and it's no coincidence that there's radio silence on this. This should be the biggest story in not just boxing
specifically,
but in all of organized sports, because at one point Floyd Mayweather was the highest paid athlete in the world. So how could he end up just another broken down boxer like everybody else? His own spending habits have something to do with that.
The YouTube boxing space has only grown over time. There are more fans covering the sport of boxing now than there were before. There are more YouTube channels and personalities within the sport that are not finding time to talk more about this, because I think for them, it's embarrassing.
It's not hard to get into this space.
All you need is a camera, a mild understanding of what's going on in the sport right now, and a few thousand subscribers on your channel.
And you're in.
It's no different on Instagram like it's no different on X. It's never been easier to break into the boxing space than it is now, and that more content creators aren't talking about Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, that's because they don't want to. That's because they have a feeling of second-hand embarrassment for the guy they put on a pedestal.
I can't tell you how many times in how many boxing groups, how many people I've seen Floyd Mayweather put on a pedestal.
How many boxing channels, how many Twitter accounts, for so many years, the shining example to some.
What the perfect boxing career looks like? This is tantamount to Elon Musk going broke tomorrow, but nobody's really talking about it.
Jeff Bezos.
They rather talk about the latest back and forth Twitter war between Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson.
The latest cat fight.
It's hard for me to pity Floyd in this situation because the persona he chose to present to the world was a materialistic one that valued nothing more than his money and his O.
That was it.
This was not a moral man, not that I expect him to be. He can only be who he is, but that's what he was.
Self-absorbed, narcissistic, materialistic.
All he cared about was his money. He never thought of himself as a man of the people, didn't present himself as such, and he's not.
All he cared about was his money. So if that money is now gone, I don't expect an outpouring of sympathy. I don't expect an outpouring of pity.
I mean, not from people like me, but for those people who did put him on a pedestal and bowed at the altar of Floyd Mayweather's green print.
How many people? How many fighters?
Do you guys still want to keep taking your cues from him? Do you still aspire to have a career like his? You still want to do everything he did?
Want to keep following his quote-unquote green print?
The whole thing was a sham. It was a scam. He was never who they told you he was. He was just repeating whatever Al Heyman told him to say. But underneath it all, he was a fucking moron.
I mean, you would have to be to generate that much money and have nothing to show for it in short order, because it hasn't really been that long.
Money he made with Canelo and Manny and McGregor, he should have never had to work a day in his life again.
Stupid is as stupid does. You can't outrun poor spending habits.
Even if you're quote-unquote TBE.